Let me tell you one story about something I learned. Let me tell you one story about something I learned. Yo.
Gonna hit you hard with the fast and the fury. Make your mouth drop like Jordan and Julie. Stepping on the court, dog, arm dangerous. Getting the score like Bobby De Niro. Don't approach us like no Gondoliero. Leave you looking like Eddie Norton. Straw in your word like Marvin Martian. Wanna know why? The God sent we. Call your belly full and your mind empty. All sound alike on BET. How many naked girls do you see? Like Miss Awalad, me can't believe my eyes. Won't stop rocking till the boat capsize. In the holy water, washing off your disguise. Always go back to your dirty pig style. Damn, big, you left them hypnotized.
Soldiers dance in the middle of the night, smoking trees and chilling with wife. Fridge got food and the kitchen tight. I got a big dog and him off at night. Soldiers dance in the middle of the night, smoking trees and chilling with wife. Fridge got food and the kitchen tight. I got a big dog and him off at night.
Welcome back to the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rex45.
And my name is TJ. I'm Two Wheels and Coffee.
What's going on, man?
Oh, we're finally back. It's been a while. We've been moving around, and you've had a whole lot on your plate. I don't even want to know how you've been going through this, but you're still in the game, you know?
Yes.
You got the love for the sport. So, you know.
So, yeah, I guess we got to get people caught up, man. I mean, it's probably been about, I think the last show we did was after the Classic.
Yeah, shout out to all the viewers. Appreciate it. Keep us going. And I was mentioning to the other day how we keep running into people who like the show. So appreciate you guys for watching.
No doubt.
Want to get that out the way. And shout out to the Neymar series for continuing and putting on good racing. And, you know, just happy.
Just happy. So, yeah, so it's been a while. And so a lot's been happening. I mean, we just raced this past weekend. So it's kind of like our summer break, like MotoGP, I guess.
Yeah, well, round 3, you know, ended in June.
Mm-hmm.
June
the Classic.
18th or something like that.
Yep.
And then after that, we had 5 weeks off, almost 6.
Yeah. Almost 6.
And that was our summer break, you know.
Yeah, and that so what have you done between the Classic and now, you know?
Yeah. So I don't want to like jump ahead too far, but like, you know, after the Classic, 2 weeks after that, I did do a track day at a safety track again. So, you know, it was my second time there. It was a little more familiar, so it was a little comfortable. And then
So let's talk about, you know, the experience and go into details and,
well,
you know.
It felt good because I got another rider, you know, one of my friends, Josh, who, you know, got to experience the track too. So it's all about, you know, getting people to new tracks. So that was a good accomplishment, you know, to get his feet wet, and he enjoyed his time.
Yeah, I think it's nice. It took me a while to go to a new track, and I did one track for a long time. Where you guys, you know, you've been racing for 3 years now, right? 3 years?
Yep.
3 years, and now you hit another track, and same thing with Josh, and I think that's important because you get to learn different things.
Yeah,
you know?
It's obviously a different environment, but you know, you get to, like you said, learn new things.
Well, just the corners. I mean, just like basic.
This track is a lot smoother.
Yeah, like just basic cornering and stuff. It's just a different track. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna turn different. You're gonna do things differently. Your body's gonna move differently.
Yeah, that's
than
what
just
you want.
at Loudon. You know what I mean?
I mean, of course, seat time at Loudon is always great, but you know, it's always to stretch out and see other things, and it's perfect to see what other tracks have to offer. And you know, going for my second time was a little more comfortable, and it was great to run. You know, it wasn't a crowded group, but you know, it was a lot of riders out there where you can keep pace with and, you know, have fun out there. But it was fun, and the journey has been amazing too, because like I said before, I would always throw my bike back on the pickup. That was one of my first goals.
Okay.
Because I couldn't get to the track, and I finally got a truck, and then I was able to explore, you know. And then finally, got a little open trailer, so it's easier to transport and carry more things. And
so you're adding, you're changing up what's going on as far as now I was just towing in my pickup and cramming everything into the back of the car or around the bike. Now you've given yourself a little bit more space, and what is it like towing? I mean, I think you towed before, so
so I towed before, but this time I didn't tow. I was with Josh, so we brought our bikes together, which it made it work out because otherwise we had to take 2 trucks, and
right,
want to waste money
right.
like that.
So now you have more space in the back seat. Now the back of the bed has space for the stuff that used to go in the back seat.
Yeah, you got to start small. You go through these tracks and see people with these big campers, and you just want to jump into. You want to just jump to that. It's at the end of the day, you want to get out there and have fun. So no matter how you can get there, it's just whatever you can do. So
Right.
We're progressing. Next thing will probably be a closed trailer, but got to get to more tracks. And
it is. That's how it is. I mean, that's how it was. That's how it is for a lot of people, including myself. And you guys are experiencing that, and then you guys are doing it together, which is cool because it's nice to have somebody that you can cut some of the cost with too, and go out there and ride. So that's cool. So now, how did Josh like New York Safety Track and the track day, right? Because I think that outside of Loudon, getting the license and stuff like that, that's his first track day.
Yeah, so it was it was good because I don't know if they do this at every safety track, but this particular group had a beginner, rookie basically, where they literally walk you around the track at a controlled speed. And then they have a novice group, the intermediate, and expert. So he hasn't been on track at all this year, so that was good to start out with. Obviously he just bumped up quick, but just to learn the lines and stuff like that, and finally feels what it feels like to twist the throttle.
Yeah.
Because New York Safety got a nice straight, nice long corners and camber turns, and there's a lot of trees around too, so you gotta stay focused.
Yeah.
I mean, at all tracks you do too. I mean, there's walls at other tracks.
Right. It's different when it's your first time experiencing trees, right? And
like we're not, we go under the tree house and Loudon, but.
Right. But you don't really. I mean, a few people have ended up over there, but generally it's one of those rare spots. You have to be going so fast to get that far over there. So you got to be one of the fast people to really get over there. But for the most part, it's not in your peripheral. You probably see the flag stand more than anything else, but you don't really see it. But other places where it's it's in front of you, and I mean, there's a turn obviously, but it's the first time you see it, you have to process that there's trees.
Yep. So yeah, this got to get in that beginner group first. Process everything, see what it's about, and then test your skills.
Right.
But yeah, he enjoyed his time. He really wants to go back. Well, whenever we can go back, he's all in. So
nice. That's awesome. I mean, it's nice to bring more people in.
Yeah, and I was brought in by shout out to my friend Nick. He's always inviting me out there, and that's how I schedule time and trying to drag more people along. So hopefully next year we can go with a bigger crew, and it all helps the track day. Just Loudon. The more people we bring helps the series. So
yeah, definitely, and just getting more time on the bike, and getting some time to practice. Where as we were saying off camera before the show, you're practicing in the race, and that's not when you should be practicing.
Yeah, we get time to do practice before the track our races, but
No, when you spend a whole day, working on something. Not, we get 2 sessions in the morning, but
we don't get enough time, to experience
not
track days and track time to get that out the way.
Right.
We're working on it anyway, like you said, while we're racing.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's definitely nice to do that. So that's good. And then what else? What else is?
Well, our I would call that our summer break from riding. That was our little winter project. We, fixed the bikes up a little, did a little maintenance on the bikes, and fix the trailer up because when we got the trailer, it was just the mesh deck. So we put some wood down and the chocks, and
Right.
that was our little project.
Carpenter hat.
Yeah, we've got our hands dirty, cutting wood. So
Nice.
But I know that's what we wanted to get into, like the working out part,
Yeah,
So-
yeah. No, it's nice when you know where you want to get to, and then you get these little success, right? Because I got my trailer now. I got more space. Now I'm a little
Yep.
more comfortable, and the goal is to get as comfortable as you can get. Although I was jumping ahead a little bit at the track. I did see some older guys camping out, and I wondered like. I'm looking for like a nice mattress. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. I used to camp as a kid, and I loved it. But now I'm like, I think it's something you just have to love, right? Or you get used to just camping. Because I don't know their stories, but I assume it's a choice because they got a van, so they could probably sleep in the van, but they pop a tent and sleep in that. So I'm just like, for some people, that outdoor feeling probably doesn't go away.
I think the weather has to play a big part of it because we only get so much time. Like, I know when it gets to September, the tents are gonna start disappearing a little more. You might see a few,
Right.
but as it gets colder, I don't know. I think it's probably the weather. But
Right. No, yeah. So I think for some people it's a financial thing, but for I think outdoors folks that love doing that anyway, I think for them they're gonna do it regardless.
Hey, I'll sacrifice the tent life just to get a race in.
Oh, yes.
Throw some heat in there, and
I hope I don't have to. But it's interesting to see the different folks that how they camp out and how they spend their time at the track. So it's a beautiful thing all around.
Well, that's another beautiful thing is when you get to the track is you've been there enough where your friends and their setup, but everyone has a unique setup.
Yeah.
So it's always fun how people face their bikes and
Yep.
The canopies they use or the tools like holding it with rims or buckets.
Yep.
And, it's cool to see everyone's setup and they got their bicycles outside or scooters. Their little transportation to get around the track. So.
No, I will say, I think I was one of the first people to have a scooter kicking around. But the scooter life, the kick scooter, battery operated scooter is pretty soon we're gonna need our own lane because it's just everybody has them. It's crazy to see.
My first time at the track, I was walking.
Oh yeah, me too.
The next time I went, I forgot to get something, but I had like a little mini scooter.
Yep.
And I was riding around that little thing, like I had to hunch over. Everyone's looking at me like, what the hell? Like, whatever gets around.
Whatever gets around.
And then one of my friend's sons came in. He was just having a blast on that thing, so he took it home.
Well,
so I had to upgrade.
No, that's the other crazy part. You talk about the camping setup, but pit bikes, everyone they some unique pit bikes, regardless if is battery operated or
Chinese scooters,
foot operated or motor, whatever gas. It's crazy to see people set up. So this 5 weeks, missing MotoGP.
Oh yeah, MotoGP was gone for 5 weeks too. Right?
Yeah. A little bit of World Superbike happened, but a lot's happened. And so for me, where unfortunately I haven't been riding as much because I'm relocating down south, so I've been doing a lot of moving and haven't been working out, haven't been riding. So this past weekend, it reminded me like, yeah, you gotta still work out, no matter how busy you are, no matter how know what's going on. If you're not in, I still had the mindset of when I got off the bike last 2 months ago, thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna hop on and do these things, and then my body was like, hey, we haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, I think I felt the same thing. my pace was much slower than it was the last round. I mean, I'm satisfied with my riding anyway, but my pace was a little off. But now to come to think about it, we had such a long break, and the things I was doing, I wasn't really, getting that workout in and staying fit. And also, I didn't practice that Friday, which took another toll because the forecast said 100% chance of rain, pretty much rain all day, and then it just kept slimming down, getting pushed back hour by hour, and yeah. They say, "Oh, just sign up, just cross your fingers."
Just
and
go do it.
I should have just done that, and I bite the bullet.
No, I agree. It's I used to take the racer practice sessions for granted. Thinking I can just come in on Saturday morning and do a couple of sessions and get to whatever my personal best was before. You just it doesn't work like that because everything is different. And you need that seed time, so it does help. To get in, practice on Fridays, so that way when for Saturday, usually your fastest time. I don't speak for everybody, but I tend to get faster as the weekend goes on. So, if I get enough riding in on Friday, race on Saturday, usually on Sunday, my last race is my fastest time. Usually.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to check my stats. I know my practice times is not that good.
Oh,
but my I usually later during the day I will get better.
Right.
Instead of getting fatigued, I feel like that. But I don't know if like the next day.
Yeah,
this weekend didn't prove that. So.
Right. You got that initial warm up that your muscles got to do, right? So you're gonna feel that, and I think once you get past that point, then you feel fine. And I think for me that was what happened on Saturday. Once I got past that point, like okay, now like Sunday I didn't feel any pain at all. But it was a point where it's just like I'm not quite warmed up yet.
Yeah, I mean you got to warm the muscles up. I mean, the track by heart. You can close your eyes and hum it out or where you're at, but you still gotta calibrate yourself when you stretch your muscles out, like on the bike. You gotta do that warm up lap. How was your weekend? How overall and. I know we were talking off air about your times, and you brought it up a little bit. Now, do you think that your weekend overall is, have you usually I process like driving home on back from I figure out I usually think about the things I did wrong mostly, and then think about the things I did right, and then I know what I got to do. But so how have you come to terms with that yet? Well, now that I'm thinking about it, this is the first time, everyone hits a wall, but I'm trying to figure out, why was I off? I mean, now that I think about it, I really didn't come in the weekend with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come in to say, hey, I want to do this, do that. It's kind of like the natural things, but I usually come in and try to set a goal, just a small goal, but I can't think of setting one. So also had some family in attendance and stuff like that.
So that keeps you a little distracted for sure.
I don't know if that maybe ride a little more cautious, but I know that I gotta try to set more goals and start working out a little bit more. Just to keep the blood flowing and the muscle memory. So
yeah. No, I hear you there. I rode my R6 this round, which this is my second time riding the bike for the whole year. So I had and even at the Classic, I felt really comfortable on the bike. So in my mind, I had a much different idea of what was going to happen. But then, like I said, not working out, that part of it definitely was just kind of like, okay, I feel good here, but now my body's hurting and and that which doesn't make you comfortable when you start to feel pain.
Yeah, you definitely got to stretch too. I try to stretch a lot before I get on the bike. I remember you was talking after your first race. You was like, "Man, yeah, my legs are aching."
Yeah,
you're like, "I can't do it."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Sure, you just lay down a little few minutes." He's like, "No,
no. I literally was stretched out. I had cramps. And again, it's we have not a huge age gap, but we have about 10 years on each other. And not using that as an excuse, but in the past, taking 2 months off would have been no big deal. I in my mind. But then it's just kind of like I was reminded of the age of my body, so I was just like, okay, yeah, maybe I just gotta always keep it going, because it's easier to fall off. It's a lot the older you get, it's easier to get out of shape than when you're younger. You know what I mean? So
I have to keep that in mind.
yeah, no, seriously, and that's the reality of it. So it's just like, even though which is you're always going to take time off from working out. So it's just the ebb and flow. But it was one of those, and I really didn't have the time to work out, because I've been driving back and forth, moving stuff and doing all that. So I could have found some time, but really didn't have the time. But it is what it is. So I couldn't beat myself up too much about the weekend, because I wasn't the best version of myself, going into it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, you can't burn yourself out. You got to balance a little bit. So
yeah, and that's the reality of it. When you think about racing, you have to look at the whole thing, because you can't just if you have a bad weekend, you can't just just be kicking rocks. You know what I'm saying? You got to really think about it, because you can if you go back a month, you can look at what you were doing and stuff like that, and you can kind of say, okay, I can see why I'm not in the same space versus the month or 2 months before. Because like the off season, I work out a lot too, and I don't work out as much while racing, and so your body's going to be deteriorating.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I work out in between travel and stuff like that, but it's not the same thing. So it is understanding that, okay, you have to look at you have to evaluate the whole time before you can sit here and just be kicking rocks, or just just be flipping your bike over.
Yeah, so definitely we got a short turnaround.
Yeah,
so
2 weeks.
We just completed round 4, which we had a whole month and a half off. 5 weeks off.
5 weeks off.
Now we're hit round 4. Just completed that. So
But you will hit round 4, because
round 5.
Round 5, I will be on the road heading south in a couple of days. Which is I'm gonna miss Loudon for sure. It's the track I started on, and I've had 10 years of racing at Loudon. And this year they had that ginormous purse.
Oh yeah.
And they announced that they're going to do it again next year. So I probably will try to come for the classic. I mean, I'm not racing in the classic, but I'll come and race and enjoy it, because like they said in the writers' meeting, it was an awesome time. If Mother Nature held up, it would have been even more amazing. But even in the rain, it was still pretty amazing.
Yeah, and just to go back to that, it was amazing to see, for me starting just watching all these fast guys, the local guys, just like, wow, someone did a 13. Wow, someone did a 12. Like, oh, they touched an 11. And then these factory teams come in, never seen the track before, and they do a 10.
Yeah. They're professionals.
Yeah, they're professionals, but
TJ, they're professionals. This is what we got other things we got to do. This is all they do. They eat, sleep, breathe, racing, and it's amazing to see. And and again, I think I saw this clip of Kobe Bryant, talking about if you work out 3 hours a day every day for 1 year, you're going to be better than somebody that works out 1 hour a day or 1 hour a day 2 times a week, which is what the average person does. And he's talking about basketball as an example, but this could be used in anything in life. So it's one of those things where, we have other things going on, so we don't have the opportunity to be on the bike. But once you're on the bike every day, everything's going to just come so natural. So, the riders or the basketball players or whoever that's at the top is because, they've had for whatever reason, there's lots of reasons, but motivation and disciplines and all that thing that, push. That you need. And also, no financial responsibility because you don't have time like that. You'll get there. So it is that, it's like, if we can get on a bike, every day, then when we get to Loudness, you're going to be like, oh.
Yeah, I tried to, but the street riding is a little different. Can't really practice how I want.
Yeah, but it will, you can use your eyes riding. You can shift. You can still be shifting smooth. You know what I'm saying? You can still work on your body position. You don't have to go 100 miles an hour. You don't have to drag your knee, but you can still work on your body position when the turns or whatever, give you that. So you can ride with that. You can ride with looking at finding on the line and trying to ride that. So, you can. And that's the biggest part. Like, I think when the classic round, that's what I realized. Like, my hands weren't reacting as quickly. I realized, like, oh yeah, okay, I got to work on that, because now I can see it. You know what I mean? Because I've been riding the KTM, which everything is slower on that bike. So it's like, I now have to move faster and get my timing up and stuff like that. So, these are things that you can practice, especially shifting, like just shifting and all that. That keeps you in rhythm. When you get on the track, you have a good throttle feel. You got a good brake feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could tell my timing was off a little bit. I mean, I wasn't snappy like that. I was just getting to the corners and then making the move. I wasn't, quick with it. So I'm gonna have some goals for next round. Hopefully, improve a little bit. But yeah, definitely got to keep the fitness up.
Yeah, fitness up. Take some notes. It helps.
But and I was gonna say, as far as that, the classic, they like you said, they're running it again next year. So it should just be that more exciting to, see these guys do some fast laps.
No, I think so. Well, yes, for sure, it's gonna be very exciting. But just if this happens, if this continues, that purse, in 4 years, you're gonna see, a lot of riders I don't want to say, but yeah, for real. Like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like
Pecco going to try to get a taste of it.
I don't know if he's going to come, but some retirees might show up. You might see Dovizioso, Pedrosa. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't think they need the money. Not to say they need, but you know what I'm saying? It's you're definitely going to see more folks come around as
camaraderie.
Yeah, as it gets out, because it's like the Daytona 200, and you see the riders that come in, and this purse is a lot bigger than that. So and this is New Hampshire, Loudon, New Hampshire, which is really dope, honestly. So I do hope it continues. But yeah, it will be amazing. If the weather holds up next year, that's all we needed. I think everything else was perfect. It's just the weather.
Yeah. So we just had that one day. It was perfect for us. We had our Friday and Sunday, nice, hot, dry. But that Saturday, rain all day.
Yeah. So that's the downside there. So you got a quick turnaround. So what does that mean? What do you do in a quick turnaround, as far as
keep everything in the truck and the trailer? Don't move it.
That's it. Laundry, put everything right back.
Yep.
Ready to go.
But you know what I mean. Just keep everything close.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't need to repair your bike, and you don't need to change any fluids, then that's kind of really all it is. And like I said, laundry and that's it. I do like the quick turnarounds, because it's nice to get back on the bike quickly.
Feel like you guys really lost a step.
Yeah, because the chances are you're going to get back to your times in 2 weeks. Just because of how the season started in the first 3 weeks and the time difference. I think we were like 3 weeks apart or something like that. The most, I think, from when it first started. So, I think the next show we do and we talk about your times, I think you'd be happy.
I hope so.
Like, I'm back, baby. That's it.
But yeah, it was a good weekend. I had fun. I'm so used to just staying on the track now. Like, I remember before, when I had a lot of friends, we would do Airbnb and then we always had to wake up and drive. Like, I'm just so used to just waking up at the track.
Yeah.
And that's just such a gift to have. Racing or at a track day. But I want to shout out Ian Beam for winning his first Dash for Cash. He's always in the top 9 or top 5, but I think this was his first one. Shout out to him for that, because that guy always gives me good knowledge and support and tires, whatever. He's just always helpful to everybody.
For sure.
It's just good to see it pay off for him.
Definitely. Shout out to Ian for sure. St. John. Yeah, St. John. For sure. It was a fun race to watch too. It's the fast folks. It's in your case, it's probably like 5 seconds, but it's a big 5 seconds, right?
You always be like, how did they get that? Actually, like where are they doing this at?
Yeah. So
salute them.
Yeah, for sure. And so shout out to all the riders and the series, because it's the first series I came to. And when I got there, they made me feel right at home. And I've felt that way, ever since. And even going to other tracks, I feel right at home. In other tracks as well, because thankfully I haven't needed a lot of help, but when I have, folks were there to help me. And sometimes we pay it back, because the other night one of your buddies there crashed up his bike, and we helped him out, and we do what we can.
Oh yeah, and he got back out and riding too. So
yeah, exactly.
So the next day, but yeah, we all try to see what we can do to help. Didn't want to be too much in the way, but if you needed something like needed a light, or it started to get dark, so we needed some lights. We ran and got some lights and food, whatever. So we went and got some stuff to help them cook, and whatever we can do to get back on, and it worked out. So, and it's good to see that togetherness, the family we have, because before this round, we were all in question about how the series is going to continue, because
right.
John Grush, who runs the series, is stepping down, and praise to him. Hopefully he's doing well, by the way.
Shout out to John.
Sent to the hospital, so hopefully he's recovering well. But we got good news that the series is going to be continuing next year. So, it's a good family we have. It's going to continue to grow, especially that feeling. We don't want that to happen and disappear.
No, you don't. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, I'm relocating, and there are a lot of racetracks down south. Loudon is the closest thing. As far as if you wanted to race competitively in a motorcycle, to Jersey. The next track is Jersey. So the folks that live in Vermont, Maine, Canada, New Hampshire, Boston, or Mass, to be fair, Rhode Island, Connecticut, even New York, they can come up and have fun. And this has been going on for over 100 years.
Yeah, we just had the 100th.
You know what I mean? So I'm ecstatic that it's going to continue, and all the series. You know what I mean? Because it's not for I don't mean to get on a soapbox, but for a lot of these series, I don't know how many people are. I don't think people are making money from it. It's just the love of the sport and trying to organize it and get people to come out and race. I don't think these people that own these places are driving. I don't know what their financial situation is, but when I see people looking around, they're not looking like they're sitting here raking in cash. You know what I'm saying? It's a series. They're different series, and there's a lot of people that come and volunteer their time and effort and make these things going, so we can go out there and try to be the best versions of ourselves on the racetrack.
Oh yeah, so I'm taking advantage of it. So
no doubt. So
the electricity, the campgrounds, all that stuff. So
yeah. So so I do hope all these series do continue, and for riders, come out and ride. More people need to come out and ride, or should come out and ride. I saw this thing on Instagram. I think it's Bespoke. They're a brand. I think they do helmets and stuff, and they're mostly street riding, dirt bikes and four wheelers and stuff like that. But I saw that they posted on their page, or I don't know if it's there or repost or whatever the case may be. But there were a bunch of folks that usually ride on the street doing wheelies and having that lifestyle. They were able to go to track and do that. And they're in t-shirts and
doing wheelies,
and tank tops and doing wheelies. Same with half helmets on.
They love them wheelies, baby.
But it's one of those things like, but there's no cars.
Yep.
So they just get to go have fun. I mean, that's their thing. I would prefer leathers. That's just me. But at least there's no cars. So regardless if you're I don't know what I know what that culture is called, because it's not like stunt riding, right? It's a little different, because the stunt riders they go to these shows and do these things. These guys are just, it's a lifestyle, you know what I mean? And they just riding because they want to ride. So it's nice when there are tracks available for the lovers of motorcycle, regardless if you're on a Harley or a dirt bike or whatever. You can go out and enjoy that. So the folks that put it together, kudos to them, because it takes a lot of money to run and a lot of insurance.
And my problem is I used to street ride a lot, and used to ride in packs, of different street bikes, and there was a different crew, that would run with the 4-wheelers and the dirt bikes, that wouldn't run with the street bikes. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to get the message out now. I wish I can go out there and find them, like, hey, try this out, because track got suits you can rent, everything.
I think we're getting the message out. And
trying to.
And I think other people are getting the message out. Let me kill my phone. I think other people are getting the message out as well. I think it's early, right?
Yeah.
And like even this show, the quarter show, is to just bring awareness to riding and getting out and become a part of the culture and stuff like that. So I do think it's going to grow, because there's people like you and people like me, and there's other folks out there that are conscious of this, and it's not an effort where it's like AAU, but I think there's pockets of this that's already happening. So I think years from now, and I think and I've talked about this before, I think all cities need to have, like, dirt bike parks. You know what I'm saying? And that type of thing. So inner city kids or kids close to the city. You don't even have to be inner city kids, because there's kids, there's riders that are outside of the city, that they don't have any the places they used to be able to go ride. They can't ride anymore. Like warehouses and stuff like that are now being turned into apartment buildings and stuff like that. So they can't ride in places that they were able to ride before. So I think in general, we do need spaces in within a certain proximity that folks can go ride their bikes safely.
Yeah, instead of going through red lights at the street, cutting people off. But it's good to have these guys on the tracks. I mean, they're doing wheelies, but like you said, there's no cars. Now, if that can happen more often, I'm sure they'll come to love and grow, like, to go to the track and try to find more time. And it could, and once it grows, it can be more control. Like, all right, only these groups go out and this. But it's just
listen. Once you strap some leathers on these guys and gals and go, let's see how fast you can go on that bike.
Oh, yeah.
And give them some slicks. They're still gonna probably do what they do, but some of them are probably gonna start racing because they already have the feel of their bikes, by what they're doing now. So for them, it's just learning the technique. You know what I'm saying? They already know what they're like when a bike pop up for them racing, they're gonna be able to handle that. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of folks, they're gonna cut throttle. These folks will ride through it and then come down. So I can't wait to see it. Yeah. So
a quick story, like back in the day when my parents are from Baltimore, Maryland. I used to go down there with a bicycle, and my cousin used to ride me around the town. And they had little woods with trails, but they had sections in the woods where it had jumps. Yeah. I'm just like, we don't have none of this up north. If you do, it was makeshift. If you had one, it was a makeshift, because this was like legit, and then, anyone could jump on it. And I'm just like, if we can choose just as a rider to pay tax dollars just to have a park for us, like, I'll put money in.
Yeah, I mean,
some people are not for it, but if you're riding, I would pay.
I don't think they even think about it. I don't know if they're not for it, because there's a lot of kids. You look at all. You look at city. Yeah, they're all over the city. It's not that they want to be hooligans.
Yeah, need a space.
I'm not calling them hooligans. I'm just I think people look at them like they're causing the problem. These are just kids wanting to have fun.
That's nowhere else to go.
Nowhere else to go. No trailer, no truck, no none of that. You know what I'm saying? And that costs money.
And no information on how to get to the track, or they got to find a friend of a friend.
Exactly. I wasn't even conscious that I could go race a motorcycle until my buddy told me about it, and I didn't even think about it. So I think a lot of people just don't know.
I didn't think about it until I met you, and if I didn't meet you, I probably would still be on the street.
Yeah. So it's definitely bringing that awareness to folks that you can go to the track and also, city leaders to say, hey, listen, all you need is you got plenty of pickup trucks with all the city stuff, and y'all got plenty of trailers. So it's not a hard task. It's just to just to put it together and make it happen. You know what I mean? And get these kids riding. I mean, they're still gonna ride on the streets, but I think most of them ride less, because if they got a place that they can actually hone their skills and have that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like like kids that decide to want to try to make it to the NBA or whatever. They make that decision that they're gonna do all these right things.
It'd be like going hard at the track when I get home. Like, look at the street bike. I'm like, yeah, not today.
Not today. I wait till I get to track tomorrow.
I got my fix.
Yeah, no, seriously, and that's how I feel now, because it's like I ride. I'm just cruising on my bike on the street. Not that I was wilding out before, but I'd see corners in before and be trying to hit them and do stuff like that. But now it's just kind of like I'm going to the track 14 times a year, 14 weekends a year. The year before 21 weekends a year. So it's like I'm getting my fix.
Well, before that, we were putting. Well, I was putting at least 6,000 miles on the street street bike before. So like the opportunity that I got, I was riding. So I was everywhere. I mean, could probably put a lot more than that, but that's for a minimum of 6,000 miles with the time we got to ride. I was always on the bike.
Yeah.
And that's cut down more than half since I've been commuting to the track, but.
But you don't feel like you're missing anything.
Exactly, and I feel like I need to attract more people here, and get them the feeling.
Yeah,
and they don't even have to ride. They just want to bring them to the event just to hear the bikes, see the bikes. Because I got my nieces and nephews loving it now. It's just like they just want to show up. They don't even know what's going on really.
Yeah, it's a family environment. Yeah. So it's not one of those things like you have to work. You bring your girl, you bring your wife, or your girl, you bring your partner, whomever. You show up and just experience it, because once you do and see it like that culture. The bike community, I think, regardless of where you are in the world, I mean, I'm sure there's some exceptions. It's a beautiful thing, and we look out for one another. I've said this in the past. Like, if everybody rode motorcycles, the world would be a better place. Because we understand the freedom, the feeling we get from riding, but we understand the risk as well. And so there's a mutual respect always, because everybody know what we're putting on the line to get this feeling.
Yep, want to make sure each other's safe, and then you also got to go through tech, so that makes sure the bike's safe too. So, I mean, it's a double check. Like I woke up and one of my friends, Kyle, right across, was like, "Hey, do you have a brake caliper bolt for the front tire?" I'm just like, damn, no, I need to start stacking up on parts. Bolts, but I don't. I looked around. I was like, hey, maybe my friend Sean might got one. He came out of his camper, stretching, and he came out, went back in, came out with a bag full of like 5 of them.
Yeah, no, that's what ended up happening.
He went in, got it fixed, went to tech, and he was able to get on the track. And I was just like, that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, that is you don't see that we can go on about motorcycle life, but as I say, it's the I think it's probably time to say goodbye until next time, man. It's the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ. See you guys soon.
See you
some coffee.
Exactly.
Peace.